You know, there was never any mistakes made from the beginning of time. Nope, it wasn't. You can rearrange your life in any way you desire. Just go right ahead and do it. But I am speaking to you about the original design. You see, I am convinced that God never made a mistake. Nope. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And we hear the saying often that he's omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscience. And if that is true, and it is, he's at the end and the beginning of history at the same time. That means he saw everything coming. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And with all that power, he didn't change anything. And he could have, but he didn't. So the question is this to every human being: when you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror, the eyes, which has been said is the windows to the soul, it's staring back at you and saying, why me? Why now? Well, I want to tell you a story about the journey of the juke joint girl. That's kind of me. So sitting in the funeral home I've got 5 of us siblings, and sitting in the funeral home of the last one that has deceased, I remember sitting and hiding in the restroom. Now, why was I hiding? I was hiding because I didn't want to hear, oh, the poor pitiful me, what has happened to her and all of her sisters? And as I sat there, I asked the question that you and every human being, basically before they live and die and breathe and go to their earth, they ask, why me? Why me? And when I said that, I don't want to get too creepy on you, but yeah, I heard the voice of God speak back to me. I heard him say, why not you? And since it is you, I felt a nudge. What are you going to do about it? I felt like I was being bullied by God. I really did. What are you going to do about it? I went, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to be someone. I'm going to be a victor, not a victim. This is precisely why I look at what I see, what's happening in our country today, especially with so-called black people and African Americans. I see this often. They choose to be the victim as opposed to be the victor. So life goes on with the juke joint girl. My mother leaves. I'm about 7, maybe 6 years old. She leaves us with my grandfather. He builds a wall down the center of the house. He puts on one side of it the living room, the kitchen, and the bathroom. And on the other side, he puts a crap table, a dance floor, a full-fledged juke joint. Yeah, he did. I know a lot of kids say, oh, that's cool, rock and roll. So I'd come home, he'd give us a jug of milk, a loaf of bread, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then he would push all 127 songs on the jukebox. And then we would mimic all those songs. You see, in mimicking all those songs, all those characters became a part of my life. And see, I believe that God is the greatest recycler of all time. He throws nothing away, the good and bad and the ugly. It's up to you to choose and let him do what he needs to do in it. So my sisters and I grew up in the same environment. What was the difference? Ask yourself, now, how did I make it and they didn't make it? What was the choices? I often hear people ask me over and over, Lorraine, how'd you do it? Well, I think it was just about making choices. I really do. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to do the opposite. They wanted to smoke dope, lay up, have babies, and not go to school. Then I just decided, I'll just do the opposite. They wanted to disrespect my mother and disrespect going to church. I decided, just do the opposite. I know you can't always use that application for everything, but it worked for me, and it can work for you. You see, I do believe that every human being comes to the planet already set up. I couldn't have been born in 1582. I wouldn't have made that slave ship. Don't get mad at me. It's the truth anyhow. They'd have thrown me off first, right off the bat. Too much of that. There's a scripture that says, when you were swimming in your father's loins and in your mother's blood, I saw you. I believe God saw me. He saw you. And then he chose, out of all the time I think I'm going to put him in that century and that time. And then he packaged you with gifts and talents to answer to the issues of that time. So you're not really here for you. If we could just kind of get that. You are not here for you. I know, Martha, your brisket in your car and our garage and all of the things we want to have. No. Megan, getting to school. Yeah, KK, Ray. You're not here for you. And in the garden of God, he made us all of these diverse colors. Why? Because he has a plan for it. And until you know your cause, you cannot know your purpose. Every human being comes to the planet specifically designed for his or her time. My vitamin C's are from a cause, you make a commitment. From a commitment, then you're going to be challenged. From a challenge, you got to make a choice. From a choice, then you got to have changes. And from changes, you got to have courage to do the right thing. We're taking those vitamin C's every day in life. I drive down the street and I hear that voice over and over again. So what are you going to do about it? What do you keep blaming? What are you going to do about it? This is your time. We've been born for such a time as this. What time is it? Your time.